Hi guys, this is Patrick from Air on the Water with some exciting news actually for inflatable kayakers that like speed and also surfski users. So what I'm about to talk about here is the recent posting on the Swedish Decathlon website of the Itiwit, what looks to be like the long rumored Itiwit 500 series surfski. This this was actually noticed today. There have been some photos popping around about the potentially upcoming surfski product in the Itiwit line, and there's been rumors of a surfski being tested, basically. But I think there's been some interest from Itiwit X500 users, the really fast inflatable kayak sold by Decathlon and part of the Itiwit series. But this surfski would be adding something new that hasn't existed before. And this was basically just noticed today on April 6th. I will credit actually Bengt Larsson, who started the Swedish inflatable and folding kayak Facebook group, Hopfällbara och uppblåsbara kajaker, where he actually posted in that group that he had just noticed this on the Decathlon Swedish website. So later, I was out on a paddle today in Stockholm waters. So when I came back, I noticed this, and later during this evening, I decided to share a little bit more information with you guys, because I know that some people in the Itiwit more advanced kayak using community are quite interested in this and have been so for quite some time. So I thought I'd actually show the information which is available on the Swedish Decathlon website right now and explain what I'm seeing and translate that into English. Obviously, to note that this information is new. It's a product right now that's listed on the Swedish Decathlon website as not in stock, indicating that it might be upcoming, but the timeline is unclear. And I don't see any information about this on the Itiwit French or UK websites, or on the Decathlon UK or French websites at a quick glance. So there are some question marks here, and the information here is, well, new and a bit uncertain as to, again, timelines and how official this really is. But it is available on the Swedish Decathlon website as a product that can be searched for by simply entering inflatable kayak or similar on the Swedish Decathlon website. So let's take a look at this, because I know that there are some people who have been waiting for this. And because the information is in Swedish and because this is new, I know that some people might be happy to see some indication of what this might be. So I'm gonna try and help out by simply sharing the information that's available on the Itiwit website here in Sweden. And, basically just give you the information that I'm seeing. Not knowing more about it myself, not being sure about what the timeline looks like, etc., etc. But let's take a look. So this is what the surfski appears to look like. I'm calling it a surfski because it looks like a surfski and seems to have surfski performance, but the information on the website in Swedish actually reads simply kayak inflatable competition 500 drop stitched reinforced. That's word by word essentially what it says. So a competition 500 series kayak. The general line of Itiwit products tend to have 100 as an indication that a product is more for beginners and 500 for advanced users. So in this case, this appears to be a surf ski with high performance and definitely higher performance than the Itiwit X500, which has been one of the top of the line inflatable kayaks. And for those who are immediately reacting to this in some forums with the thought that, well, this might be replacing the Itiwit X500 strand fit kayak, I don't think that's the case. I think that the Itiwit X500 kayak is a separate product. It has its own price tag, so to speak, its own level of pricing, its own performance, and it does what it's supposed to do. It basically acts kind of like a sea kayak, whereas this is something different. It looks like a surf ski. It appears to be more for competition or for someone who's exercising regularly with their kayak, in this case a surf ski. Well, what has a surf ski appearance? So I'm gonna call this the Itiwit surf ski going forward. So what we see here is on the first page, one single photo of the surf ski, the apparent surf ski, and a price tag of So what that translates to in euros would be, let me look this up, just below 1,400 euros, 1,400. And in US dollars, it would be, let's check, about 1,500 US dollars, 1,500. So this being based on today's exchange rate, basically, from the Swedish crown, which is the Swedish currency. So this is not, to begin with, a cheap product. It's something that would be intended for advanced users that are willing to part with some hard cash to get their hands on a product that would be quite capable. Looking then at the specifications, again based on the Decathlon website and what's up there right now, this, assuming that this is the correct information that will remain as such, then this basically shows the advantages of the kayak, which is how Decathlon tends to list things, and it talks about how compact the kayak is, which is 517 centimeters times 54 centimeters, which then would be the length and the width of the surf ski. I'm gonna call it the surf ski, and that is actually over 5 meters and just a little bit more than half a meter width. So that means it's obviously, as you would expect from a surf ski, it's both substantially taller, longer than the Itiwit X500 strand fit, and also less wide. So the Itiwit X500 strand fit is 380 centimeters, as I recall. This one is 517, so substantially much more surface towards the water. And then the width is then about 10, well, actually exactly 10 centimeters less wide than the Itiwit X500 strand fit. And the information is that the backpack would have the measurements 80 centimeters times 45 centimeters times 30 centimeters. And most interesting here might be the speed. So the information on the site right now is that this would be something that you can paddle in 10 kilometers per hour it says average exercise for experienced kayak paddlers. So 10 kilometers an hour, that's for most users a couple of kilometers per hour faster than the Itiwit X500. Actually, it might be 3 to 4 kilometers per hour faster, depending on how skilled you are with the Itiwit X500 strength fit. So at least 2 to 3 kilometers per hour faster, as you would expect from a surf ski. And then it talks about maneuverability, and here's the interesting part, as you would also expect with a surf ski. It has a rudder with foot pedals, which allows you to steer your kayak with ease. And it talks about stiffness, so stringers in carbon fiber on and under the kayak to make it more rigid when inflated. It is obviously drop stitch, and then for carry comfort, what you would expect, padded straps for the actual backpack, and well, basically you would say that this is a comfortable backpack, supposedly, for something like this, which is gonna be quite heavy, as we'll see in a moment. And ergonomics of this would be that you're able to adjust the footrest, however that looks, according to your leg size and your preference. And of course that spare parts would be available online or from your nearest Decathlon shop. So that's the information on the advantages page. And let's go over to technical information. By the way, as you can see, I'm not making any fancy presentations here. I'm trying to get this information out rather quickly because I know that a lot of people are interested in this, and it just became available, so I'm not going to spend time on a lot of footage from the water, because obviously that's not available for this kayak or surf ski yet. I could be adding some stock footage from my own paddles, just showing water and environments and such, and make the video more appealing visually, but I think that's not really what people are interested in this at this point. I think that people are interested in the hard data about what this might be. So I'm just showing the pictures and the photos from the Decathlon website, and then basically helping you guys figure out what this actually says. So, technical information, and this is also how Decathlon lists their products, their kayaks like this. So you have the advantages, which is a basic overview, and then you have the hard data in the technical information tab typically. So here we have the measurements and weight. So inflated, the kayak again is 517 centimeters in length and 54 centimeters in width. Packed into the bag, that would be a height of 80 centimeters, a width of 45 centimeters, and, well, it says thickness, basically 30 centimeters, the third dimension there. And the total weight, which is quite interesting then, would be 21.5 kilograms. The kayak weighing 19.5 kilograms and the bag 2 kilograms. So 19.5 kilograms is 3.5 kilograms higher in weight than, or heavier than, the Itiwit X500 Strength Fit. And the total weight of 21.5 kilograms is also basically 3.5 kilograms heavier than the Itiwit X500 Strength Fit with its bag, because that bag also weighs 2 kilograms. So this in pounds, 21.5 kilograms would be 47.4 pounds. And then basically the headline is glides well. So translating this freely, then the kayak construction of the Itiwit Competition 500, which I then assume is the name in English, Competition 500. Not sure, but that would be the direct translation. It seems to make sense. Competition 500, let's say. Or maybe Race 500. It might be called the Itiwit RACE 500, which would be shorter and make more sense. So let's say that it's probably called the Itiwit RACE 500. Well, not knowing that, but still. Then it basically says that the kayak construction of the Itiwit RACE 500 gives it, without doubt, the best gliding quality of inflatable kayaks. The choice to manufacture a boat over 5 meters tall in reinforced drop stitch and soft carbon fiber stringers means stiffness, performance, and gliding experiences. And then they go on to show recommendations for use, and the obvious always present recommendation: never paddle without a PFD, a life jacket or a life vest. And then the note that this kayak is not created to surf on breaking waves. This kayak is not created for surfing on breaking waves. And then basically it talks about how to inflate and get the kayak ready, which then would be the largest air chamber, which is the floor, then the medium size chambers, the walls, and then the smaller ones, the arches. Not sure how many. All chambers will be inflated to 10 psi, which is 0.7 bar. And then after inflation, you would obviously place the footrests on the fittings there and push them in to your preference and adjust the leg length using the strap, is what it says. And then placing the seat by inserting it to the flexible controls until it fits there, I guess. Then the insertion of the rudder, because again there is a rudder, and stretching out the cables to the foot bar, which appears to be the footrest then, and then making knots level with the pedals on the foot bar, as it's called here. Then it goes on to how to deflate and pack down the kayak. And this is pretty straightforward stuff. So make sure that the surface where you're folding the kayak is clean. Remove the seat, remove the foot bar, if I call it that. Then lift up the rudder, and then deflate the kayak by opening the valve, basically the valve cap and the valve. Then how to fold the kayak in order to fit in the bag. They recommend folding the kayak so that the deck points inwards, folding the bottom all the way across the middle, edge to edge, starting with the front and then following the folding marks and their numbers. the number markings, then leaving the valves obviously in the open position so that air can keep streaming out if needed, and finally strapping the kayak with a strap to compress it and store it more easily, the same as the Itiwit X500 Stremfit. Kayak regulations over 3.5 meters. Basically here it explains that the manufacturer's definition is use at sea classification because it's taller than 3.5 meters and it has 2 separate air chambers, and you're able to navigate up to 2 nautical miles, 3 kilometers from the nearest anchor point on land. And of course you're supposed to use the proper safety gear, and then there's more information about the rules, so far only in French. And then it explains basically how drop stitch works and why drop stitch basically makes for such great performance. Alright, then finally some storage and maintenance information, and I think the most interesting information, this is really washing stuff. Like, don't dry clean your kayak. That's kind of okay, fair enough. It says basically let dry, empty of air, and fold, and store in the bag, protected from heat and moisture, which makes sense. The most important thing here might be the restrictions on use. Do not use in waves that are over 1 meter. Do not use in waves that are over 1 meter. And then test and warranty. This is interesting because it says that the kayak has been tested and approved by, I guess, Decathlon's internal and external ambassadors, and 4 members of the Itiwit team took part in the Tawara 2022 event of 70 kilometers. One of these members placed top 10 in the top 10 list of stiff boats, as it says, and ended up number 1 in inflatable kayaks. So that's it. There's an ISO standard specification there as well. And that's all. I think that's all the information I can see right now. I wanted to share this with you guys because I know that quite a lot of people are interested in this, and it's been rumored for quite some time. So instead of putting together a very fancy video with plenty of nice visuals and such, you get the information as I see it on the website, which is supposedly official because it's the Decathlon Swedish official website. It's openly searchable for anyone going to the website, at least today. I'm not sure if this was intentional, and I'm not sure why it's available in Sweden, where I can't find the same information on other country websites, but it seems quite interesting. So, are you interested in this product? Are you looking forward to see more about what Decathlon are actually up to here? Do you think this is the new rumored surfski? Do you think this looks good? Do you think the specs are good, looking at the length and the weight and what we can tell, and the supposed speed of 10 kilometers per hour, etc. Feel free to share your comments here in the comments below in the video, your thoughts, and anything that you might know about this. And if the information appears in more countries or has already appeared in more countries, please share that as well, because I and others with me are also interested to see what's going on. And at the same time, I'll also leave a shout out here to the Itiwit X500 owners Facebook group and the Itiwit users group Facebook group, both of which are really helpful for Itiwit kayak users. Well, I guess the Itiwit users group could be for canoes and SUPs also. So those groups are worth a follow if you're not already familiar. And I know that in both of these groups, and perhaps especially in the Itiwit X500 Strandfit group, which talks about the Itiwit X500 kayak, there's been a lot of discussion every now and then about something that might be coming up here. Well, not a lot of discussion, but it has been mentioned every now and then, and I know that some people are curious about it. I certainly am. I hope we'll see this in the near future. The fact that it's now out on an official website, one of Decathlon's official national websites, seems to be good news. Then, of course, it could be months in the making, but it would seem to make sense that this would be released, hopefully, in connection with the summer season in 2023, and this is what we thought was going to happen based on some indications in earlier forms. And again, this is just conjecture based on the information that is now available on the Swedish Decathlon website. So that was my first take on this, and hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, feel free to leave a like and a comment in below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet to the Air on the Water channel, you're most welcome to do this. So there's a lot of Itiwit X500 Strandfit footage there. There's some Itiwit X100 Plus tandem kayak footage there as well, and many other inflatable kayaks and many great paddle moments. So alright, thanks guys. If you watched this far, then I know you're as interested as I am in the Itiwit potential upcoming surfski. Let's see if it's actually gonna be called then the Itiwit RACE 500. Okay, maybe you heard it here first, maybe you heard it somewhere else, but in all cases, let's see what this is about. This seems exciting. I wish you all great paddles and great times out there on the water this year and every year after that. Have a good one, stay safe out there, and happy paddles. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Stay safe out there and happy paddles.